Some workers are quiet quitting their jobs. It's become a TikTok phenomenon, explaining how employees can do the bare minimum at work in order to achieve a better work-life balance.
I recently learned about this term called quiet quitting, where you're not outright quitting your job, but you're quitting the idea of going above and beyond. You're still performing your duties, but you're no longer subscribing to the hustle culture mentality that work has to be your life. The reality is it's not, and your worth as a person is not defined by your labor.
Okay, we're joined now by Dr. Ben Hamer, PricewaterhouseCoopers Head of Future of Work. Ben, great to see you. Is this trend a good thing or a bad thing?
Well, it's an interesting thing because what we saw was that from the outset of this year, we had 38% of Australians were looking at leaving their employer. But now what we're seeing is this thing called quiet quitting, where people aren't formally resigning, but as we heard, doing the bare minimum to get by. And in the current market, it's really tight. There are more job vacancies than job seekers. So workers are actually getting away with it. And what organisations are starting to see is a drop in job satisfaction, a drop in productivity. So it's definitely not a good thing for them.
Do you think it's happening because people are burnt out, or is it more of a generational shift in attitudes towards work?
Well, what we've seen is that since the pandemic began, the average work week has increased by about 6 hours. So people are working longer, they're feeling more stressed, but they're not necessarily seeing the pay rises or promotions flow through with it. And in the current market with cost of living pressures, that's just not cutting the mustard. So it's definitely something that younger generations are more vocal about on social platforms like TikTok, but it's definitely prevalent across all age groups and demographics because people just reevaluate the role of work in their lives and what they're willing to sacrifice after 2 pretty full-on years.
Yeah, no doubt. What do employers need to do in order to retain workers, but also get the best out of them?
Yeah, our research at PwC showed there were 2 key things. So that's simply just making sure that people get paid fairly in line with the market and that organisations offer work-life balance. But when you cut through it all that workers really want is to have reasonable expectations set by their company and to make sure that they're recognised and valued for the work that they do.
We mentioned it's a TikTok phenomenon. I'm not on TikTok. A lot of older people are not. Does that mean that older people are less likely to do this current trend?
I think it's something that's playing out whether or not we're aware of it or not. It's something that is catching on by people promoting it on TikTok. But what we're definitely seeing as people are burnt out, their propensity to work and what we call discretionary efforts, so going above and beyond, is definitely dropping. So it is happening across all different age groups, irrespective of whether you're on or not you're on TikTok.
Well, quiet quitting, I hadn't heard of it until today. Dr. Ben Hamer, thank you very much for your time. Appreciate it.
Thank you.